This is an art collage novel video. I made this series so you guys can experience the story faster. The video will focus on the character's psychology, the images are for illustration purposes only. Yunxiao did as he was told. The pressure at the bottom of the river was nothing, but the corrosive poison was too strong. He had only taken a few steps when he felt that the primordial astral wind could no longer hold on. The dynasty bell. Yunxiao cried out softly. His body was as big as a bell, sending out sound waves to push away the spirit liquid around him before he could move forward with great difficulty. Yes, that's. His pupils shrank. Near the stone tablet, there was a slight light. He looked over and saw that it was a ring. There were traces of people coming here. Could it be a swan and I? Yunxiao reached out his hand, his fingers turning golden as he clenched his claw and pulled the ring over with his primordial energy. Could this be the relic of Mei Dong's parents? He looked around and saw that everything else had been corroded. I don't care anymore. I'll take a look at it when I get up there. I'll take this monument away first. It's definitely something good. He put away the ring and tried his best to move over. Without a word, he hugged the stone tablet and started to pull it out with all his might. His current physical strength was enough to contend with a one-star martial supreme. He put his 5 fingers together, grabbed the stone tablet, and pulled it up with all his strength. Suddenly, an unparalleled force rushed out of the steel, emitting a misty light at the bottom of the river, and rushed into Yunxiao's body, shaking him away. Several beams of white light burst out of Yunxiao's body, which was the light of bright moon divine body. Under the tremendous pressure of the water, he was forced to retreat. What's going on? Yunxiao's heart trembled violently. The force just now came from the earth under his feet and was transmitted out through the steel. Not only that, but it also seemed to have touched some powerful seal, causing a terrible power fluctuation to come from the entire earth under his feet. The steel seemed to be activated at that moment, and Yunxiao's heart trembled. What exactly is under the monument? The rotten and dull feeling seemed to come from the land of death, making people feel a chill in their hearts. Even someone as strong as Yunxiao felt an inexplicable panic, and his face changed drastically. Not good, retreat first. He suddenly felt that something was wrong. The power was so strong that he could not resist it. It was as if an indescribable danger was approaching, as if the gates of hell were opening. Yunxiao took a deep breath, and with the bright moon divine light flowing around his body, he released all his primordial qi. He even took out the northern heaven cold star sword to split the water and swam upward desperately. The terrifying power below was like a lion that was gradually awakening, causing the entire river to become restless. At this moment, in a place tens of thousands of miles away, a light blue aura was rising from a blue lake. The lake was deathly silent, not even the chirping of birds or insects. It gave off a strange sense of peace, and the air was oppressive and decaying. In the middle of the lake, a small black dot could be seen in the distance. It was emitting a restless aura. Someone was actually cultivating. The person had delicate features and a handsome appearance. He was a young man. At this moment, he was frowning, as if he felt a strange feeling that made him extremely uncomfortable. What's wrong? Above the 9 springs is the place where the world's 5 poisons gather. I don't know which scattered space it came from, but it seems like there's something wrong with the river on the left. The young man muttered to himself with a frown, should we tell Wei Qing about this? He said that this is a land of death and that there will only be poison here. It seems that he doesn't know about this. Forget it, even if there's any movement, it's probably something happening in some unknown space. As long as it doesn't affect my heaven-earth poison body, there's no need to worry about it. After the young man made up his mind, he continued to cultivate. A ray of light rose from his body, revealing a 5-colored poisonous light. It spread out on the lake's surface, making people stand up without feeling cold. In the indefinite river, Yunxiao used all his strength to rush up. It was only after 10 minutes that he felt the pressure getting smaller and smaller, and the sense of horror gradually faded away. He looked down with lingering fear. It was as if there was some terrifying monster lurking below that was gradually getting further away. The world is so big that it is not easy for us to see everything. After a moment of emotion, Yunxiao's heart gradually rose to the surface. Young Master Yun. The people on the shore had been waiting for a long time. When they saw him come ashore, they were relieved. Mo Xiaochuan's pupils contracted as he exclaimed in surprise, "Young Master Yun, you've only gone down for a day and a night, and you've actually broken through a major realm. No wonder you're unwilling to come up." It was only then that the crowd discovered that Yunxiao's cultivation base had crossed the realm of Martial Emperor, and they were all shocked. Li Feiyu's eyes were filled with doubt. He had always thought that Yunxiao had suppressed his cultivation base, and even though he had not found anything unusual in the battle with Aunt Jiu, he did not think that the other party was only a martial grandmaster. Now, his brows were furrowed even deeper, and he was still full of doubts. "A little." Yunxiao laughed. "I got a little something." At this moment, Mei Dong had woken up. She was staring at the river in a daze, as if she had lost her soul. She did not even notice that Yunxiao had come up. "Dong, I found a ring down there," Yunxiao sighed. "It's very likely to be left behind by your parents." He took out that ring, and it flickered in his hand. It had already been corroded badly, which showed that it was definitely a treasure-like existence back then. Otherwise, it would have been turned into ashes. "What?" Aunt Zhou's expression changed drastically as she exclaimed, "Young Master Yun, did you dive into the river?" "But this is impossible." Yunxiao said vaguely. Luck. He did not say if he had dived into the river, which made Aunt Zhou feel depressed. "A relic." Mei Dong let out a sharp cry and went forward to snatch it. She held it in her hand and looked at it, heartbroken. "Young Master Yun, I have a favor to ask. Currently, the inter-province transportation formation in Yufeng City is under intense repair. I hope that this Grandmaster will be able to go and lend a hand." He was referring to Mo Huayuan, who had made such a request after learning the other party's identity. However, Mo Huayuan's answer surprised him. Even an 8th-tier alchemist had to listen to Yunxiao's opinion. Yunxiao frowned and said, "Oh? How's the teleportation formation's restoration coming along? Does Brother Li know the situation?" "It's extremely difficult to repair the inter-province teleportation formation," said Li Feiyu with a wry smile. "Almost all the alchemists in Yufeng City have gone to help. I didn't expect young Master Yun to have such a master hidden by his side. If Grandmaster was willing to go and help, I'm sure the repair would have been completed long ago." Since Mo Huayuan was Yuan Gohan's disciple, his cultivation naturally wouldn't be low. This was also the reason why Li Feiyu had chosen him. "I'll definitely help," Yunxiao said. "Huayuan, can you come with me?" he asked. "I'll naturally go since young Master Yun has given me an order," Mo Huayuan hurriedly replied. Yunxiao was a little uncomfortable with his humility, but when he looked at Mo Xiaochuan, the latter felt that it was very natural, as if it was only natural. Yunxiao gave Mei Dong a worried look, and Aunt Jiu quickly said, "Leave Mei Dong to me. Without time to wash away this kind of thing, who can soothe the pain in their hearts?" "Well, that's good. I'll leave it to you, 9th aunt." Yunxiao glanced at Mei Dong and sighed. "Take care." Many years had passed since they left, and it would be a few years before they met again. Mei Dong said, "Goodbye," to Yunxiao in a daze, but she just stared at the ring in her hand, not knowing when she would be able to walk out of her grief. Aunt Zhou sighed as well. But, she had already taken the key and settled the biggest problem in her heart. She was afraid that Mei Dong would take things too hard, so she had specially ordered experts to guard her in the dark. She was not afraid that Mei Dong would do something stupid and die, but she was afraid that Yunxiao would come and cause trouble for her after she died. As for Wang Die's death, she had also begun to make arrangements in secret. She spread the news that it was Yunxiao's doing, hoping to draw a clear line between him and the Plum Valley, but Yunxiao naturally did not care. After Yunxiao and the others left the valley, they headed toward the teleportation array under Li Feiyu's lead. Both of them were quite anxious, for fear of missing the time. Although the path in the Plum Valley was difficult to find, after leaving the valley, they headed north. After flying for the time it takes to brew a cup of tea, they saw several black spots speeding towards them. There were a total of 10 people, and each of them was a martial honor. They were all familiar faces. Everyone, what's the matter? When Yunxiao saw the 10 people surrounding them, and all of them were from the trading convention, he immediately understood what was going on, so he asked, could it be that you can't bear to see us leave and miss us? It's true that I miss you. Where's your master? The person who snorted coldly was Bai Xiu. Seeing that the gourd little King Kong was gone, he frowned and said, don't tell me he's still in the Plum Valley? Another revered martial artist said, what's the point of talking nonsense with them? We'll ask after we've captured them. Send 2 people to keep an eye on the Plum Valley, in case that young Master Yun escapes. Not bad, this myriad treasure towers for prodigies of the north also has a lot of treasures. Another martial honor revealed a greedy look. Li Feiyu was speechless. He then kindly said, everyone, we're in a hurry to repair the teleportation array. Please step aside. Don't ask for trouble. Build a teleportation formation? What does it have to do with us? You can leave after you leave all your treasures behind. I don't know, Bai Xiu said coldly. Otherwise, I'll only be able to see if the legendary 4 prodigies of the north are really as powerful as the rumors say. Powerful my ass. If not for the myriad treasure tower's support, this brat wouldn't be a fart. Lu Feng said with disdain. Li Feiyu thought to himself, as expected, if you don't seek death, you won't die. They still haven't realized that there's a martial emperor among us. Even if all of us attack together, we won't be able to take them on. You know I'm from the myriad treasures store, and you still dare to attack me, he sighed. He still had a glimmer of hope that these people would back off. Bah! Didn't you hear what I just said? If there wasn't myriad treasures store, you would just be a pile of shh. *T. What are you pretending for in front of us? Lu Feng seemed to be extremely displeased with him and spat out a mouthful of saliva. Yunxiao laughed and said, Brother Li, people are strange sometimes. You're clearly being nice to them, yet they still want to insult and slander you. This kind of person is not worth saving. Xiaochuan, finish this quickly. His eyes turned cold. 10 breaths. Mo Xiaochuan smiled casually. He did not even need to use any martial arts techniques. He drew a ray of light with his fingertip and it flashed through the air. The ray of light instantly transformed into 10 rays of sword qi that shot out with the force of a thunderbolt. Before the crowd could understand what was going on, they were all slashed apart and killed. With a wave of his hand, Yunxiao immediately took the storage rings left by the 10 men in the air and said, no need to thank me. Li Feiyu's heart turned cold as he watched. Although he had killed many people before, those were all minor characters whose strength was far inferior to his own. A martial supreme like him had been killed 10 times in a single move. It was truly difficult to accept. However, the difference between a martial honor and a martial emperor was like heaven and earth. Li Feiyu said dejectedly, let's go. Yunxiao, Mo Xiaochuan, Mo Huayuan, Little Xuanzi, and Li Feiyu turned into streams of light and flew toward the important land of Yufeng City. The teleportation formation was located outside the city and was heavily guarded by powerful martial artists. Who is in front of you? Quickly stop, or don't blame me for being impolite. A martial emperor shouted. Suddenly, his face changed and he said in shock, not good, there's an expert inside. Don't panic, everyone. I'm Li Feiyu of Myriad Treasures Store. I've specially invited an alchemy master to help repair the teleportation array. Quickly call out the person in charge. The few of them stood in the air, immediately causing everyone to panic. The guard was about to go in and report when he heard Yang Ping's loud laughter. I wonder where young Master Li has invited this great alchemist from? I've already collected all the alchemy masters in this city. Is he a newcomer? When the guard heard Yang Ping's voice, he immediately heaved a sigh of relief. Even if the sky collapsed, there would be someone to hold it up. Yang Ping's gaze swept across the group. When he saw Mo Xiaochuan and Mo Huayuan, his pupils constricted and his heart trembled. These two people gave him an extremely powerful aura and energy fluctuations, and they were two completely different types of energy. Mo Huayuan's aura was that of an alchemist, and he was very familiar with it. As for Mo Xiaochuan, he said in horror, "This lord, is he?" "These two are young Master Yun's friends," Li Feiyu said. He pointed at Mo Huayuan and said, "This is Master Mo Huayuan, the disciple of Lord Yuan Gaohan, the secretary of the spiritual division of the Holy Region." As for this, he glanced at Mo Xiaochuan and wanted to introduce him, but he realized that he did not know this person's identity and only knew that he was Mo Huayuan's older brother. "Lord Yang, stop being so long-winded and quickly bring this master to the array." The disciple of the secretary of the sanctuary division. This name was too big, and it gave Yang Ping a fright. Cold sweat trickled down his back, and he didn't dare to ask any more questions. He hurriedly led the way. The group passed through several corridors and arrived at a spacious open space. Many people were busy with their own work. In the middle was a huge teleportation array, which was under intense repair. It seemed to be more than half done. Lord Yang Yunxiao asked, "What's the current situation?" Yang Ping was taken aback, and his face revealed slight displeasure. He thought to himself that this servant was actually talking to him without any respect for status. However, when he thought about how these people could not be offended, he could only endure his displeasure and said, "There are still some key points that we can't crack, but with Master Mo here, it's not a problem." Mo Huayuan frowned. "I've never built an inter-province transportation formation myself. Let me take a look. I hope it works." Yang Ping laughed. "Master Mo, don't be too humble. If you can't even repair this place, why do you have to go to the Sacred Zone or the Sea of Soul formation to invite people here?" Mo Xiaochuan laughed nonchalantly. "Don't worry. Young Master Yun is here. You can ask him if you have any questions." Everyone felt dizzy after hearing this. If it was asking, they might be able to accept it, but asking for guidance was a little too serious. To everyone's surprise, Mo Huayuan actually nodded his head and said, "That's right. Young Master Yun's Tao is much stronger than mine. Let me take a look first. If I can't solve it, I'm afraid I'll have to ask young Master Yun to take action." Yang Ping's forehead was covered in cold sweat as he said awkwardly that young Master Yun is an alchemy master? Why don't I see him? "This is young Master Yun," Li Feiyu explained with a smile. "The puppet you saw at the trade fair yesterday was just one of his puppets."
Ah.
Yang Ping jumped in shock. He was secretly glad that he didn't show any impatience just now. Otherwise, he would have offended this person. Yunxiao turned around and smiled. "I'm sorry about yesterday. I couldn't show my face to others. Please forgive me, Lord Yang." "You're too kind, young Master Yun," Yang Ping said with a wry smile. "I'm already very grateful that you're willing to help us repair the teleportation formation." These words were only said to powerful people. If it was an ordinary person who was found out to be hiding his true appearance, he would have already used his fist to teach the other party an unforgettable lesson. Yang Ping walked into the formation and began to discuss with the group of alchemists who were repairing the formation, occasionally casting his gaze at them. Very quickly, an old man with a face full of stubble led the group forward. He stared at Mo Huayuan and said, "Greetings, Master Mo." The people behind him also knelt down. "You also have an 8th rank aura," Mo Huayuan replied. "We're both of the same rank, so there's no need to be so polite." "I'm just an itinerant cultivator," the alchemist said. "How can I be compared with Master Yuan's disciple? Back then, I was fortunate enough to listen to Master Yuan's lecture in the Holy Region and I really benefited a lot from it." "Oh, you've also listened to teacher's lecture? Then we can address each other as fellow sect members." Mo Huayuan's interest was piqued, and he was about to talk to the man in detail when Yunxiao coughed heavily and said, "Repairing the formation is more important." He was afraid that the two of them would have an endless conversation and delay his trip. A look of extreme displeasure flashed across the alchemist's face. As an 8th-tier alchemist, his status was extremely noble, and no one dared to interrupt him when he was talking. Just as he was about to flare up, Mo Huayuan pulled him back and hurriedly said, let's talk business first. Is that person a junior from Master Mo's family? Children can't be too pampered. The two of them had gone far away, but the alchemist's angry voice could still be heard. Mo Xiaochuan flew into a rage and was about to rush over to vent his anger, but Yunxiao glared at him, so he backed away. Yang Ping made an inviting gesture and said, Young Master Yun, everyone, please follow me to the main hall to rest. It's too noisy here. He now roughly understood that this group of people was led by Yunxiao, and he was even more interested in Yunxiao's identity. Along the way, he secretly hinted to Li Feiyu to reveal Yunxiao's identity, but Li Feiyu kept shaking his head with a wry smile. Yang Ping was extremely unhappy and made an unkind gesture. Li Feiyu dejectedly made a gesture of, I really don't know. Yang Ping immediately glared at him and made a gesture of, I really don't know, causing Li Feiyu to be completely depressed. Young Master Yun, may I know where you are going? Yang Ping asked enthusiastically. He thought to himself that since Li Feiyu was not willing to tell him, he would ask him himself. Let's go, brother Li, Yunxiao said with a smile. Yang Ping shot Li Feiyu a disdainful look, as if to say that he didn't know anything even though they were going the same way. This time, Li Feiyu was truly taken aback. He asked, Young Master Yun, you're going to Songhua City? I heard that the 2 meetings of the Merchant Union will be held in a few days, Yunxiao said. We're going to see the world. Are you not welcome, brother Li? Then I'll look around by myself, and I won't tell anyone that I know brother Li, so as not to embarrass brother Li. Please don't make fun of me, young Master Yun, Li Feiyu said with a wry smile. I'll naturally welcome young Master Yun if he's willing to go, but is young Master Yun really just going for a tour? Or do you have other plans? He emphasized the last 4 words, and his eyes turned cold. Oh. Brother Li seems to be afraid that I have ulterior motives. I indeed have my own purpose in going to Songhua City, but it has nothing to do with the Myriad Treasure Tower. Furthermore, I also have a few friends in the Myriad Treasure Tower. Yunxiao smiled indifferently. That's good. I don't want to have a conflict with young Master Yun either, Li Feiyu replied. However, if a conflict really does arise, I won't show any mercy. He had changed from his gentle and refined appearance to a domineering one. It was as if he was no longer afraid of the martial emperor Mo Xiaochuan. The 2 of you are young talents, why are you all so tense? Everyone, please be happy, with Master Mo's help, the teleportation array should be repaired very quickly. I don't know when we will meet again in Yufeng City. Yang Ping sighed. Let me toast the 2 of you with a cup of spiritual wine. I'm afraid that the next time we meet, the 2 of you will already be at the peak of martial arts. We won't have any more interactions. You're too serious, Lord Yang, Yunxiao said with a smile. You're too kind. The 3 of them slowly savored the wine and began to chat. Yunxiao's knowledge shocked both of them, which was by no means something a teenager should have. Soon, they had a good chat. After the time it took to finish a few cups of tea, Mo Huayuan and the 8th-tier alchemist arrived. What? Yang Ping was overjoyed. Could it be that it has been completely repaired? The 8th-tier alchemist shook his head. I've made great progress with Master Mo's help, but I'm still blocked by a barrier. Master Mo said that he would like to consult Yun. He deliberately lengthened the last 2 words to show his dissatisfaction and disdain. If not for Mo Huayuan's impressive performance, he would have thought that these people were scammers. Mo Xiaochuan could hear the sarcasm in his words and sneered, how can a frog at the bottom of a well know the vast ocean and vast sky? I'm a frog in the well. The 8th-tier alchemy master laughed out loud and said, when I was cultivating in the holy region and the Sea of Soul formation, you 2 were still nowhere to be found. How dare you call me a frog at the bottom of a well? Although he could tell that Mo Xiaochuan was extraordinary, for alchemists like him, unless they were alchemists who were more powerful than themselves, they would not be defeated even if they were martial sovereigns. Yunxiao naturally knew the temperament of these alchemists, so he did not take it seriously. Hua Yuan, with your strength, there shouldn't be any problems.